Christianity is founded upon the law of forgiveness. Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the karmic law, and the Christ within each man is his redeemer and salvation from all inharmonious conditions. So I said, woo! Yes, here we go. Hello, and thank you for joining me on 8 I Am Maggie. And what are we doing? This would be like day 92 of the Momentum Challenge. But what we are doing is the complete works of Florence Scovel Shinn. And we're reading through the chapters twice, and then we're doing points or tools by Florence to kind of narrow in on, and stories, things to kind of jar the mind and the heart to keep moving in that positive direction. So we're going to pick up where we left off. I hear angels. We are welcoming them in. And we thank you, angels, for all the help that you give each and every one of us. Okay, so where we left off, she was giving the story about the personally strong-willed woman who wanted the friend's house, and that person passed away. And anyway, she talked about how she got the house, but her husband passed too. Okay, so we're going to pick up where we left off. The original owner, however, could not have been affected by her thoughts had he been positive in the truth. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to go back and start this story over because it's important to kind of get the whole gist of it. For example, story. A woman with a strong personal will wished she owned a house which belonged to an acquaintance, and she often made a mental picture of herself living in the house. In the course of time, the man died, and she moved into the house. Several years afterward, coming into the knowledge of spiritual law, she said to me, "Do you think I could have had anything to do with that man's death?" And I replied, "Yes, your desire was so strong, everything made way for it. You paid your karmic debt. Your husband, whom you loved devotedly, died soon after, and the house was a white elephant on your hands for years." The original owner, however, could not have been affected by her thoughts. So listen, if he had been positive in the truth, not her husband, but they were both under karmic law. The woman should have said, feeling the great desire for the house, "Infinite Spirit, give me the right house, equally as charming as this, the house which is mine by divine right." Okay, so we just love when Florence gets going with her affirmations. So we're going to do that for anybody out there who's wanting a new home. I'm with you. Infinite Spirit, give me the right house, equally and as charming as this, the house which is mine by divine right. Okay, one more time. Infinite Spirit, feel inside, see the image, use your imagination, feel inside. Infinite Spirit, give me the right house, equally as charming as this, the house which is mine by divine right. Okay, it's coming. Just stand in the truth that it's here now. The divine selection would have been a perfect satisfaction and brought good to all. The divine pattern is the only safe pattern to work by. Desire is a tremendous force and must be directed in the right channels or chaos ensues. Okay, I'm gonna read that one more time. Desire is a tremendous force and must be directed in the right channels or chaos ensues. So has there ever been something in your life that you deeply desired and things went on, maybe even like exes, and things happened and it had this tremendous force, but in a way, because it wasn't directed down the right channels, chaos ensued? Like you started to realize, oh my gosh, my desire was so great, but I wasn't using it in the right channels, and now I have this as Florence would say, white elephant. Think of times, and then when you get back, you will be able to course correct next time. So a lot of children are born through this tremendous force of desire. And, a lot of times as people, if they're honest, as they move through life, they probably would not have had children with their original spouse if they had been able to channel their will through divine right source. Okay, so we love all the children, no? We love everybody. We're here to learn. This is our school, so don't beat yourself up. We're here to upgrade. So in demonstrating, the most important step is the first step to ask. Man and woman should always demand only that which is his or hers by divine right. And since the alternative space has infinite possibilities, you want to work within the channel of divine right. You don't want to be going outside and creating karmic law against you. So to go back to the illustration, had the woman taken the attitude, if this house I desire is mine, I cannot lose it. If it is not, give me its equivalent. The man might have decided to move out harmoniously had it been the divine selection for her, or another house would have been substituted. Anything forced into manifestation through personal will is always ill-gotten and has ever bad success. Okay, so we don't want to, you can tell too, and when you're trying to manifest something out of force. Usually, like she says, chaos ensues. There will be things attached to it and you'll be like, oh my goodness, no. Okay, man is admonished. My will be done, not thine. And the curious thing is, man always gets just what he desires when he does relinquish personal will, thereby enabling infinite spirit to work through him. Stand ye still and see the salvation of the Lord. Law. So stand ye, so I read it with the one and then I read it with her substitute. Stand ye still and see the salvation of the law. For example, story. A woman came to me in great distress. Her daughter had determined to take a very hazardous trip, and the mother was filled with fear. She said she had used every argument and had pointed out the dangers to be encountered and forbidden her to go. And a lot of times when you forbid kids, boy, that just creates a greater desire in them. Okay, but the daughter became more and more rebellious and determined. I said to the mother, you ready? You are forcing your personal will upon your daughter, which you have no right to do. And your fear of the trip is only attracting it, for man attracts what he fears. And I added, let's go and take your mental hands off. Put it in God's hands and use this statement. Oh, okay, here we go. I love her affirmations, and I know you do too. Okay, because I know they're going to just come into play. One morning, as I was waking, I just heard Jesus sweetly whispering to me scripture, and it was just the most beautiful way to wake up. So these affirmations, they roll through your mind, and they really help you to upgrade. So I'm going to read it again. You're forcing your personal will upon your daughter, which you have no right to do, and your fear of the trip is only attracting it, for man attracts what he fears. I added, let's go and take your mental hands off of this and put it in God's hands and use this statement. Dun, da, da. Here we go. I put the situation in the hands of infinite love and wisdom, and if this trip is the divine plan, I bless it and I no longer resist it. But if it is not divinely planned, I give thanks that it is now dissolved and dissipated. A day or two after that, her daughter said to her, Mother, I have given up on the trip, and the situation returned to its native nothingness. That's for somebody out there That's for me too. We love our kids. We do what we can to protect our kids. We do what, let's take our mental hands off and leave it in God's hands. Within reason, of course. It is learned to whoever is out there, let's practice this affirmation, okay? Let's take our mental hands off and let's put it in this situation in the hands of love and wisdom. And if this, whatever it is, trip is divinely planned, I bless it and I no longer resist it. But if it is not divinely planned, I give thanks that it is now dissolved and dissipated. So whatever the situation with your child, work that affirmation. So it is learning to stand still, which seems so difficult for man and woman. I will deal more fully with this law in the chapter on non-resistance. So don't you love as we go through the books how she it's like a snowball, and it's building and it's building and it's energy and woo, 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 woo. We become the train that can and will and does and we do. Okay, so I give another example of sowing and reaping, which came in the most curious way. A woman came to me saying she had received a counterfeit $20 bill given to her at the bank. She was much disturbed, for she said, the people at the bank will never acknowledge their mistake. I replied, let us analyze the situation and find out why you attracted it. She thought a few moments and exclaimed, I know it. I sent a friend a lot of stage money just for a joke. So the law had sent her some stage money, for it doesn't know anything about jokes. I said, now we will call on the law of forgiveness and neutralize the situation. Christianity is founded upon the law of forgiveness. Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the karmic law, and the Christ within each man is his redeemer and salvation from all inharmonious conditions. So I said, woo! Yes, here we go. Infinite Spirit, we call on the law of forgiveness and give thanks that she is under grace and not under law, and cannot lose this $20, which is hers by divine right. Woo! Chicken skin. Yes. Oh, yes. So now I said, go back to the bank and tell them fearlessly that it was given to you there by mistake. So she obeyed, and to her surprise, they acknowledged, they apologized and gave her another bill, treating her most courteously. So knowledge of the law gives man power to rub out his mistakes. Man cannot force the eternal to be what he is not. Okay, and that's a beautiful analogy when you think, like, if you were to think you're doing like a calculation or something on the board, you're writing it, and then it's incorrect. So you get the eraser and you just rub it out. We have the power to, rub out mistakes. We have the power to work with the law of forgiveness and work with the law of karma and just neutralize things. So, what a beautiful reading. And I want to thank you for joining me. Basically, day 92 of our Momentum Challenge with heart and mind aligned. I would love to know what story might speak to you, what tool you might be using, or how the reading is landing. Or if you're just coming here to have a good time, because I am a good time, it's going to be fun. Like, subscribe, and leave your positive comments. I really appreciate your support. And so, may you be having the most wonderful day, because I know you are. And if you're not, you have a few affirmations to turn it around. I'm always holding you in love and praying for the absolute best to happen in your lives. So go forth boldly, prosperously, healthy. Like, go out and give those acts of love and service that you are. So thank you very much for coming, and may you be at peace. May you be at peace.